mistakes and the way the game went, how pleased were you with your group's poise tonight amidst all the circumstances?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job of just keeping everyone, under control, calm. There were some moments where, one or two guys would get frustrated at the ref or, maybe frustrated with each other real quick, and guys just were able to, tell each other to, relax, regroup, and, shake it off quickly. And that's just what a good team does. That's what a tight locker room does. And, we were able to do that.
Paolo, what was tonight like for you working through some of this game, some of the lulls and some of the highs through it? What was this game like for you?
I mean, it was a fun game, a big-time game. It was just a unique type of challenge. I was interested to see how they were going to try to guard me. And so in the first quarter, I thought I did a good job of, getting my teammates involved, moving the ball, and, guys got going. And so, those guys carried us throughout the game. Anthony Black, Dale, Cole, obviously. I thought J.I. came in, played huge. Gary, just everyone who stepped in, made plays and made my job easy.
We've heard everyone say that you guys play by committee to see all those guys step up in a big moment like this, in a big game like this, especially when the defense is so loaded up against you. What does that mean to you as a teammate, as someone that carries a big load for this team, to see others kind of pick it up like that when the ball swings to them like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I trust them 100%. I think the whole team, Franz, everybody trusts these guys to make plays. That's why we're swinging them the ball. And, those guys are all great players. So when you swing them the ball and they're open, they're going to knock down those shots or create a problem. And the more confidence they get, the more we're rolling. And so I think you just saw that with guys getting, easy looks early, and then it translated into them, making a lot more plays throughout the game.
Hey, Paolo. As the game went on, you didn't really have to be the main ball carrier coming down to the top of the key. You were able to set screens later on in the game for other guys. The bench was really starting to help you out. When you don't have to be the main guy at the top of the key, does that help you relax a little more to, find your shots and really be a huge asset for the team?
Yeah, definitely. Every game's different. And so, first 3 times we've played these guys, I've had big games. And so coming in, I kind of was interested, like I said, to see if they were going to just let me play one-on-one like they had before. And so when I saw that they were loading up and trapping, I knew that guys were going to be open and guys were going to get open looks. And so that's just what I told guys was, once you get the ball, attack, whether it's a catch and shoot, off the dribble. And then, like you said, just throwing it ahead to guys too. We got guys, Anthony Black, Cole especially, that are great in transition, on the run. And so when me or anyone gets the rebound, just throw it ahead to those guys and let them, make a play.
Paolo, pregame Quinn Snyder mentioned not fouling you too much and having you get to the line to increase your efficiency. I thought that was interesting just because it's been up and down a little bit for you in the beginning of the season with the free throws, and then you've gotten a lot better recently. What does it say about sort of, him saying that and coaches and other opposing teams sort of respecting you at the free throw line and, being able to get to the line like you did tonight and knock them down? Yeah,
I mean, that was really what carried me tonight, was getting to the free throw line, able to knock down most of my free throws, just keeping me in rhythm. Even though I didn't have a good night shooting, I still felt involved in the game. I still felt, like I was able to, make plays, and part of that was me being able to get fouled. So that's something that, I know I can lean on game to game. And even if teams are loaded up and trying to, get the ball out of my hands, I can still take advantage of certain opportunities and get downhill and get to the line.
Paolo, you've talked about in the past your relationship with Jayson Tatum kind of going back a couple of years now. Just how has that relationship kind of grown over the years, and now getting an opportunity to go against him and the defending champs in the first round? What are you looking forward to with that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Jayson since I was going into college. I see him every summer. So the guy that I'm very familiar with, one of the guys I go to for advice and stuff like that. But, obviously now we're competing, and I think, the best way for me to show my respect is to give him my best effort and go at him as much as I can. So I'm excited for the matchup, and I'm just excited to be in the playoffs in general. We had an up and down season, so the fact that we're able to clinch 7th seed with this game and give ourselves a chance to go into Boston and make some noise, I'm just happy about that. But definitely looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, Paolo, I was going to ask you what this means, the fact that you guys were able to clinch tonight instead of Friday. How does that extra time help? And also just being back in the playoffs, what does that mean?
Yeah, no, the extra time definitely does help because now we know who we're playing. We know what we're walking into, so we have time to prepare rather than having to prepare for another game and then prepare for another team after that. So that's big for us. Guys get off their feet, rest, recover, get ready for game one. And, yeah, just to get back to the playoffs, it's huge accomplishment for this team. We've had a lot of ups and downs this year, injuries, losses, just a lot. So, the fact that we've been able to stay resilient and fight through just shows the character that we got back in that locker room, top to bottom. And, just shows that, we have a lot of guys that, are able to step up. And so just really happy for the whole group.
Paul, as a leader of this team, a lot of guys went down, and you got Corey Joseph playing the point, a veteran, probably the third, fourth point guard of this team. Take us through how good you guys are when he's out there using his play.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Corey stepped in right away, when his number was first called, when guys were out, and, he elevated our team, from the first game he played, just with, his calming presence and the way he's able to, get guys the ball in spots that they know they like, and he's always talking, he's always communicating, so if something doesn't go right, he's not just gonna let it be, he's gonna go to you, come to you, and figure it out on the spot. And so having a veteran like that with a young team, it helps more than anyone really knows, because sometimes as a young team, maybe you wait too long to figure something out, and by the time you're already down or whatever, and he just addresses things as they happen. So, and on top of that, he's a really good player. Just knocks shots down, always making the right play, doesn't turn the ball over. It's more solid than you would think on defense, just with the way he's in great position, and he's had 13 years of experience. So there's nothing he hasn't seen in the league, and that helps us every day.
Paolo, what's it like to play a team that likes to take 5 threes a game in terms of Boston? I
mean, yeah, that's a team that we play, 4 times a year. We're familiar with their style. They got a ton of shooters all throughout the lineup, in the starting lineup and on the bench. And so we know that's going to have to be a point of emphasis, running them off the line. But also, you got to be at the rim too, because they got guys that can drive and make plays. But, the threes are what kill you. They take a lot of them. So, that's something that we're going to be probably focused on this week, is just how can we limit that? How can we take away some of those easier looks, make it tough on them. But, I think we'll figure that out more this week.